Joining me tonight on the 8 p.m. exclusive, someone who's perhaps best placed to debate what's currently happening. I'm joined now by the chairman of India's largest bank, the State Bank of India, Mr. Rajneesh Kumar. Thank you, sir, for joining us tonight on NDTV. Mr. Kumar, your first reactions to, well, the series of announcements after the Prime Minister's huge 20 lakh crore stimulus package, 10% of India's GDP. Tell us the detail. Do you think this is what India's economy needs to revive or is more needed?
No, one is that the announcements are coming on a daily basis and starting from yesterday. Yesterday, a certain segment was covered, and that was MSME, the power sector, and mainly around MSME, NBFC, and power sector. So these were the three sectors which needed most attention. And what the announcement yesterday indicated that lot of risk capital or risk is being taken by the government of India. Enough liquidity in the system has already been provided by the Reserve Bank of India. And ultimately it is the banking system of the country which will implement these measures. And I think it is a workable model in the sense that for any expansion in credit or expansion of money, banks, because of their unique position that they can leverage, so they are uniquely placed in providing that intermediation. And that is where the significance of the yesterday's announcements particularly is around that government has provided a lot of risk capital by guaranteeing the obligations in respect of the money, incremental money which will be lent to MSMEs and NBFCs. And the state governments would probably be guaranteeing the obligations of the DISCOMs, and where the money will be routed through PFC and REC.
That's an important point, sir, which I just wanted to ask you, that the government really being the guarantors for these loans, because one of the worry was that with this coronavirus pandemic, as we come out of it, banks would be a casualty in terms of non-performing loans, in terms of bad loans. Some estimates we've seen, Mr. Garg, the ex-secretary, has written that it could be up to 10 lakh crores. How badly do you think banks would be hit by bad loans given this crisis? And do you think what the government has done will actually wipe that out to a large extent? What is your feeling?
As far as the envy in the banking system is concerned, so there are a lot of, I would call, guesstimate which is going around, but these are all different scenarios. For example, even in the State Bank of India, we also have done our scenario analysis, and that depends upon that how quickly the lockdown is lifted, number one. Second is, what is the pace of the recovery after the lockdown is lifted. So definitely, if there is a loss of the output or GDP loss, so that loss gets ultimately distributed between, say, the government by way of revenue loss, then the corporates and households. If somebody has lost a job, so that is an income loss. The corporates, their profits are coming down. We have seen in the quarterly result. And finally, ultimately, the corporate or the even the households where the borrowing is there, because there is inability to pay or service in time, so that gets reflected in the balance sheet of the banks. Now, how much loss will go to whom? That will ultimately depend upon the rate of recovery. So there are various estimates, base case scenario, then moderate, then severe. What we are talking about, such a high number, I think it is the severe most scenario.
So can I ask you, Mr. Kumar, what is your forecast? The SBI, of course, does its own economic forecast. What is your forecast? As we speak, you're in Mumbai, India's commercial capital, which unfortunately also today has the highest number of corona cases in a city. Maharashtra, we've seen in most of our cities, which are the urban economic centers, which are the main providers of India's GDP, are battling the coronavirus. They are in the worst situation. How do you see India's economic forecast today from where you are?
Very difficult because different even rating agencies, World Bank, IMF, everyone has come out with a different forecast. So I think it is very dangerous, in fact, for me to make any forecast. And there are agencies who are doing the forecast. But yes, it is a fact that very important states which contribute a lot to the GDP of the country, like Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu. These three states are uh, more impacted than the other states, and which will definitely have an impact on the GDP of the country. But as I said, that maybe we have to wait, say, for tomorrow or day after, when we know what will be the shape of the lockdown 4. I am expecting that most of the economic activity will be restored, and the restrictions would be around the large gatherings or social gatherings. So there will be some measures around that, but ultimately for the economic activity to come back fully, it is very important that the end consumer points, wherever there is a consumption point, all those consumption points should become operational. So whether it is the shops or it is the shopping malls or wherever we sell the goods or services, unless all of them gets opened, the revival of demand becomes difficult. And when the country is divided into different zones, like it is currently, even for the supply chain management, it becomes difficult. There may be a industrial unit which sources some of the components which are maybe currently in green zone, and some of the components may be coming from red zone. And if red zone is completely closed, then how does an industrial
So how would you
unit
like to
work? So
see
these are some of the challenges.
Yes.
These are some
So
of the
how
real
would you like to
challenges.
see, sir, lockdown 4 unfold? What would you think should be, or what would your recommendations be for lockdown 4 as India's largest bank's chairman? What do you think would work economically?
So one is that we have to carry on with steps which help in containing the spread of the virus. Because country has been in lockdown for almost about 50 days. So first thing is that whatever advantage in terms of the spread of virus the country has gained in this period, and which numbers are visible, and when we compare with other countries, we find that there has been a good control, and that advantage cannot be allowed to be frittered away. But at the same time, end-to-end supply chain, which is from production until the demand, I think they need to be opened up end-to-end. Otherwise, the output loss, both in terms of production of goods and services, it is not sustainable.
Right. And finally, sir, if as I said, if you had one suggestion to give on how to restore demand, or what's the best situation? I mean, we know the world economy is contracting, so India is not an outlier. The world economy has contracted, but many see this as an opportunity also for India to perhaps emerge also as a manufacturing power replacing China. What's the one recommendation you would give today in your capacity to the government, to the Prime Minister, the Finance Minister, saying India must do at this moment?
So that is what I said, that I am very confident and optimistic that the next set of announcements would be around that how do we encourage investment in the country, because Honorable Prime Minister's speech very clearly gave pointers towards that. And these 2 days announcements are more around, as I said, MSME, flow of credit, and meeting the needs of the poorer sections of the society, agriculture. The announcements which would come, the expectation is that they will be more around the easing the rules around production, setting up manufacturing facilities. Availability of land is a major issue in the country. The labor laws are another. So the reforms around what we call factors of production and improving the factor productivity. So next set of announcements hopefully should be around that. And as far as the revival is concerned, so a lot of investment is required in the economy and the infrastructure, and at the same time more money in the hands of people to boost
Absolutely.
what we call the consumer demand. So this has always been
The main thing.
in some sort of a dilemma also for any government,
Of course.
that whether they spend more money on the productive sectors like infrastructure, which is long-term benefit, or put more money in the hands of the people. And on the
Abs-
government, there would always be competing demand, because
Absolutely.
everybody looks from one's own perspective. If
The,
I'm a middle class person, I would look that let there be a tax rebate and tax
absolutely.
benefit.
Every sector wants it
So
specifically to them.
the business would say that let there be a
Yes.
tax relief, but what we also have to realize that already there is a revenue loss for the government. There is a
Yes.
limitation to which extent government can borrow. So everything and anything, whatever government does, there are multiple considerations of any action which government
The
takes, and it impacts
the
the
pulls and
economy,
pushes
the
are for,
macroeconomy, the microeconomy in more than
absolutely.
one ways. And in such a scenario, there are
Yes.
no tailor-made solutions, and that is where, depending upon how the situation unfolds, the response also gets calibrated. But I have mentioned earlier also in some of my interactions that the government, the regulators, and the banking system, they will have to play a very critical role, and there will have to be a coordinated action, and only then a quick
Ab-
recovery in the economy would be possible.
Absolutely. And of course, we had the earlier worries with Yes Bank and that other cooperative banks issues. But finally, sir, well, some good news for India on the legal front that today Vijay Mallya now seems all set to come back to India legally. And of course, for SBI, that's good news because the bad loans, SBI leads that consortium of an estimated 9,000 crores of bad loans. Now, Vijay Mallya says, why don't the banks just take the money from me and settle? At this COVID time, they should just take the money and close the case. What's your reaction, sir? As I said, SBI was the worst hit by the bad loans.
No, one is that we have been recovering our money through the legal means. So that is the one. Second is that SBI, at least I have not seen any proposal whatsoever. So on the basis of the proposals made in media, I cannot react.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mr. Rajneesh Kumar. It was wonderful speaking to you for your perspective. It's great, as I said, to have India's largest banks chairman on India's current economic issues. Thank you so much.